again, above expectations. They keep playing above expectations. And when you have young players performing at a level higher than expected, I think you have to, whether you like him or not, attribute it to coaching. And I've seen coaching now almost 4 straight weeks, I could argue. They've gotten better game planning-wise, play calling, decision-making. Players have played up to a new level. Kory, something happening?
Yeah, we're seeing watchable football. That's basically it. We're seeing watchable football. Yesterday, you saw a bad football team play a good football game. They just didn't do enough to win.
Right.
I mean, you can't go 0 for 4 in the red zone on touchdowns. You can't win a game off of kicking field goals. But I mean, it was Tim Boyle. The expectations were low, and they still played a good enough game to win that football game. Now, I do question kicking the field goal at that time, but at the same time, when Dan Campbell has done that, whether it's coincidental or just high belief, when he's kicked field goals or when he's trusted his defense in that situation,
It's worked out.
it's worked out. So
Trusting the defense has always worked out. I know Baltimore, it was a collapse, et cetera, et cetera. We can go back through the whole year. But if you told me, you didn't give me a final score, you told me to win the game or any game this year, what would you prefer? The ball in Jared Goff or Tim Boyle's hands, or in the defenses? And I would argue that I trust the defense more than the offense this year.
absolutely, because the offense over the past 3 or 4 weeks has gotten better. With the influence of Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell taking over play calling, the offense has gotten better. But all throughout the season, the defense has played
Consistent.
above expectations. They've played out their mind. They've played with guys going down on COVID, injuries. Aaron Glenn, Mark DeLeon, Aubrey Pleasant, they've just done a phenomenal job with the team. And I'm just curious to see, what would have happened if they had their starters most of the year?
They win this game.
Who knows what the ceiling would have been?
They do win this game. If they were healthy all year, they probably have another 2 wins, so they're a 4-win team. I still think they lose a lot of those games, even fully healthy, especially early on. The coaching staff was not growing at the level we see them growing now.
Before they went down with all the injuries, remember, if anybody can go back and go look at the tape when we were doing our season predictions, I said this was a 5-12 team. I said it before all this. This is like a 4-12-1 team potentially with all of these injuries. So it's, if you want to do like the participation trophy or the silver lining. There we go.
Yep.
The silver lining. You're seeing great good to great coaching with players they probably are not going to return next year.
Absolutely.
Right. They're trying them out.
You brought up earlier the decision, right? And I would love to get into this now because I think people don't really understand what happened on Sunday. 20-13 down, 3rd and 2, and they lose 3 yards. Had they gotten back to the line of scrimmage, even gained an inch, I could make the argument that they line up and go for it. But 4th and 5, you're down 7, you trust your defense. Let's say Atlanta does get a few first downs, but you have the timeout, so you still salvage. Well, if they get in field goal range, it's a 2-possession game if you don't kick that field goal.
Yeah.
So you kicking that field goal gives you kind of a safety net. Hey, if they hit a big play on us and they get in field goal range, we just got to stop them, let them kill the clock a little bit. It's fine. Hey, we still get a chance to go down the field and tie the game. So that's safety number 1. Safety number 2 for Dan was if you didn't go for it, which they didn't, you have a reliable kicker now, so you don't even have to worry. It was
right.
You assumed it was an automatic 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I want to see from Dan Campbell is, are you making winning decisions? And what I mean by that is not, the decision worked. No. Did it put you in a position to win? And last I checked, the defense did its job. And the Detroit Lions had the football. Yes, interception. We all know what happened. But did you have a chance to win the game, Kory? Yes, you did. How can I sit up here Monday and say, Dan made the wrong call? No. This isn't
you can't
costing
do it.
your team a game. Now, identity-wise, he has been the most aggressive head coach in all of football. They're going to break the record. I believe they're 4 fourth downs away.
Right now they're
totally going to do it.
In 2 games, they'll get it.
Having said that, Technically, his identity is hyper aggressive. But I love a guy that can look himself in the mirror and check himself in the moment and say, you know what? I've been going for it all year. Does not mean I have to go for it right now.
Yep.
I'm taking 3. And we saw Brandon Staley do this against Houston early on. He caught his team was not in rhythm. I'm walking away with points here. They were up early. And then, of course, the Texans just absolutely took it to town after. But still, you got to be able to take it and adjust and not die a stubborn man.
What you're seeing right now with Dan Campbell is he's learning from his mistakes quickly. All throughout the season, he was just saying, remember a lot of these losses, he was saying it's on me, I got to coach better. You hear that, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But then you actually see him go out and start to coach better, to start to learn from those mistakes that he got maligned on the Mondays and the Tuesdays, and he goes out the next game and he doesn't make those same mistakes. You're seeing the improvement in the coaching, and that's really what you want at this point of the season. Not necessarily the Lions to go on a win, on some type of win streak. You want to see sound coaching decisions, improvement, and you're getting that. And it's on this Monday, have you guys seen Pay the Full? Everybody eats, B. Everybody eats. The Lions fans who wanted them to go ahead and tank.
And get the draft
they now got a top 5 pick.
Yep.
The Lions fans who want to see the team improve and just get better as the season goes on, you got that. Everybody's winning.
Yep, I know. I mean, that's exactly what happened on Sunday. It was actually really good. I have no issue with it. One more thing I do want to bring up, Kory, before we hit the break. Deuce Staley. From my understanding, he's actually in pole position, potentially, to take over the offensive coordinating position. It's not Ben Johnson. And my question to you is, 1, does Dan Campbell relinquish play calling next year, or is it way too early for me to be asking this? And 2, is Deuce Staley the guy from your perspective?
You know what?
Because I do want them to hire internally for the OC position. I think there's something in that building.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, like saying, like, hey, let's, with the moving on from A-Lin, just see what we have with Deuce Staley, see what they have with we know Ben Johnson kind of emerged out the scene, so he wasn't a guy that people were just saying, hey, let's get Ben Johnson a shot. But I think with Deuce Staley, he has the respect of all of the players there.
That's big.
Guys like Deuce Staley, guys like Aaron Glenn, guys like Aubrey Pleasant. The players bring them up during the media sessions without sometimes being asked about them. When you have a guy like Deuce Staley, who's a leader of men, when you see him in practices and you see how he commands the players' attention, you want that. So if they do move on from Anthony Lynn, which pretty much a lot of people are expecting, I think Deuce Staley should go ahead and get the nod. And also at the same time, you still want to keep Ben Johnson around in some type of fashion.
You'll promote him to offensive coordinating assistant, title.
You want to elevate him in some type of fashion, because right now you're seeing something that's working. With Anthony Lynn, the first 8 games of the season, it wasn't working. Right now you're seeing something that's tangible. You can sink your teeth into. So
I think the big
you need to
difference
keep that
is
in
how
there.
committed they are to running the football. That is the significant difference for me. They're not dropping back 28, 32 times.
And it's balanced too. It looks good. It's not too left one way, not too right one way. It looks like balanced football.
And one of the craziest things, Jeff, is they're going to run the football. You still can't stop them.
It's like the Browns. It's like the Browns.
Still can't stop them.
Is Deuce Staley calling plays as of right now?
I know he has an elevated influence. That from what I know, Dan Campbell's the main play caller, but Deuce Staley, and Ben Johnson have heavy influence, and I know that Anthony Lynn has a big influence on the run game.
I would say, why not? I would have liked to see them give Deuce the shot as soon as they got rid of Anthony Lynn. They just said, hey, Deuce, I mean, if you're, like you said, the guy's qualified enough. He's been, the Eagles for 17 years as
I think
assistant.
Dan did the right thing by not doing that. I'll tell you why. He doesn't have to make a midseason firing. Because if you promote someone to OC, why is Anthony Lynn there? He just took over play calling duties. And what he did was he's showing his staff, this is how I want us to play. Now, I know the first few games it was rough, but to his credit, he's gotten better, more consistent, and more fluid. And I actually like the play calling.
And also,
it's actually watchable.
And also, too, along with that, one key thing that I've noticed since Dan Campbell's taken over play calling, Jared Goff looks like a different QB. He looks like the QB that everybody thought the Lions were getting when the trade was happening. Not a guy that's going to go out there and win you all these big games, but a guy who, if he's going to be a bridge,
Keep you afloat.
keep you afloat, keep you from being at the total bottom. And it has to be something with the play calling, because it was like a light switch went off and it got better each week. So if you seen the clip about a couple of days ago when Anthony Lynn was talking about when he came here, he didn't expect his role to be basically reduced to what it is right now. With what he came here to be a play caller. I mean, if that kind of was like for me the writing on the wall that his exit is imminent.
Definitely.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you look at a team, are they growing, right? Now, you could look around the league and all the bottom tier teams. And I think every fan base feels like their team is growing. But looking around the bottom 5, I'm more comfortable about the Lions than I am about the Giants. I don't like Gettleman. They'll figure that out in the offseason. I don't like their quarterback. I don't like the receivers that they paid money for. I look at the Jets. Zach Wilson actually had a good game yesterday, so I got to give him credit. Trevor Lawrence looks better.
Quick to go back to that Giants thing. Just imagine how different things would be if the Lions if Kenny Galladay actually got that money.
I'm glad that, you know what, like one of the
That
better
was probably
decisions.
the blessing in disguise.
Yep.
I'm so glad that his true character, and I'm not trying to slander him this morning, but somebody has to do it. This guy was a 3rd-round pick.
Yes, that's, I believe,
And
3rd round.
During his time in Detroit, he was very low-key. And when it came around contract year, after he broke out, had a double-digit touchdown year, he became, I'm on IG, I got the models, I got the chicks, I'm going to the club, I'm doing this. I just looked at it as I was not all for it. And you're telling me I got to pay you $16 million a year, $14 million for what? For you to spend it on hookers? No, I'm good, man. I'm good. You can go to New York and do that. I swear to God, like, it's exactly what came to my mind when Kenny Galladay kind of started lashing out. I was like, that's not a player you want in your building.
Especially, you don't see him. That's not a Dan Campbell guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about a guy like you think guys going to the strip club doing whatever.
Even before Dan Campbell, I don't even think it's that. I just think he was done with football. It was
it's
about
not even
him.
really the whole what he does off the field. It was just how his actions were reportedly.
And he couldn't stay healthy. That was my thing.
And,
who cares what he does off the field?
You can't be a diva and be unhealthy and be a quote unquote locker room head case and expect money. Nah. It's not going to work like that.
No.
And I don't know whether he turned down the line. I believe he turned down the Lions deal. Reportedly, they were going to give him that big deal, and he went to the Giants for the same money. Hey, good for you, and good for the Lions. That's one of the. I
heard the strip clubs in New York are better.
That's New York, probably in New York now.
I just can't imagine a guy like that on this team. Like I really can't. You see this Lions team. It's very collective group effort. Like no one's really shining. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown just shining now. Like Galladay would have been asking.
I'm so glad he brought that up mid-season. We talked about this, Corey. They should not go for a wide receiver. See what you have.
Yeah.
And
Why
now
not?
you're seeing it the last 4 games.
Why not? This is the guy that slipped to you in the 4th round. He was not even really supposed to be there when you drafted him. I've seen his talent throughout training camp. I'm like, okay, this guy's got to be like the number 3 going in here. I mean, even with Cephas was healthy, I was thinking like, hey, Amon-Ra is looking pretty damn good. Unfortunately, they suffered some injuries, but now you're starting to see what Amon-Ra can do now that he's getting more involved in the offense, and he's getting better quickly. Like that touchdown yesterday, that was not so. He was not supposed to score that.
No.
You guys want to laugh?
That was ball hawk.
Kenny Galladay, almost 350 yards fewer than Amon-Ra St. Brown, 0 touchdowns, $14 million a year. On and off the field, can't get healthy, can't get right.
He was supposed to.
I'll do you one better. There is one stretch of the season that DeAndre Swift had more receiving yards and touchdowns than Galladay this year.